Let's start with number 6 and work our way up to number 1. Number 6, octopus. The octopus is one of the most intelligent animals on the planet, with 9 brains, one in its head and one in each tentacle. It's as if the tentacles have a life of their own and can make independent decisions. On top of that, it has 3 hearts and blue blood. Yes, blue blood, because instead of using iron to transport oxygen like we do, it uses copper. The octopus is so smart and cunning that it can make bold decisions, plan ahead, and think in incredible ways. Imagine being in a lab at night and suddenly seeing a trail of water on the floor, as if something had passed by. When checking the security cameras, you realized that an octopus, clever enough, had slipped out of its tank unnoticed, crossed the entire lab, opened the neighboring aquarium's tank, stole a fish, ate it, and then quietly returned to its own tank as if nothing had happened. In other words, it was smart enough to map the path in its mind, calculate the time it would take, and move stealthily. How many animals do you know that could pull that off? And this wasn't just an isolated case. It happened several times and was officially documented, including by the New England Aquarium in Boston, which has official reports of octopus night escapes. An octopus can hide and camouflage itself in an astonishing way. It can tuck itself under a shell, or even change its color and texture to blend in perfectly with its surroundings, just like a chameleon. It's capable of setting traps, solving complex problems, and even unscrewing jar lids. But sadly, all this incredible intelligence doesn't last long, as the octopus has a short lifespan, living only about 3 to 5 years. An incredibly smart creature, but one that doesn't stick around for long. Number 5, crow. The crow has an incredible brain and a razor-sharp memory. It could easily be considered the Einstein of birds. Although it's often associated with horror movies, bad omens, death, and cemeteries, that's only because of its appearance. Its shiny black feathers and intense gaze make it easy to underestimate. But crows have deep emotions. They mourn the loss of family members and sometimes return days later, as if paying their respects. They are capable of logical reasoning. For example, dropping stones into a container of water to make food float to the surface. If you treat a crow badly, it will remember your face for up to 5 years. And worse, it will tell the other crows in its group who you are and how dangerous and untrustworthy you are. Scientists have even tested this by scaring crows while wearing masks. And years later, crows that had never even seen the mask before still reacted with fear, meaning the information had been passed down. If you're kind to a crow, offering it food for example, it will remember you with affection and might even bring you little gifts as a thank you, like screws, buttons, or bottle caps. Crows have a unique communication system, sharing information, emotions, and even teachings. They can strategically hide food to trick other crows, teach tricks to their young, play with other animals, and carry colorful bottle caps just for fun. Crows have even been spotted sliding down snowy rooftops. Yes, they play and show emotions too. It's a shame they're so often judged by their appearance. Despite being incredibly intelligent, they are often ignored, chased away, and mistreated. Number 4, dolphin. You've probably heard that dolphins are smart, that they can come up with ideas and learn tricks. But get this, dolphins can actually recognize their own reflection. In other words, they have self-awareness, something most animals don't have. Dolphins communicate through specific sounds, have friends, and share information. They can even pass down knowledge to others in surprising ways. When one dolphin is injured, others will gather to carry, protect, and comfort it in truly heartwarming ways. They care for and protect their young with incredible love and devotion. They're so clever that they'll toss a pufferfish back and forth to stress it out, making the fish release a special toxin that gets the dolphins high. And here's the wild part. They know exactly how much toxin to absorb, just enough to get buzzed without dying. After all, this toxin is powerful enough to kill dozens of humans at once. So the dolphin carefully shakes the pufferfish, absorbs just enough toxin to get a little loopy, and then relaxes. Dolphins live full emotional lives, filled with communication, feelings, and deep bonds. That's why they're considered some of the most intelligent animals in the world. Number 3. Elephant. If you've ever seen an elephant up close, you know just how imposing and intelligent these animals are. You've probably heard the phrase, "an elephant never forgets," right? Well, it's true. Elephants have an incredible memory and are capable of experiencing deep feelings and emotions. They easily remember routes, recognize other elephants even after many years, and feel emotions like sadness and longing. There's a touching story about two female elephants, Shirley and Jenny, who had briefly lived together in a circus but were separated for 23 years. In 1999, they were reunited at the Elephant Sanctuary in Tennessee, USA. Their reunion was nothing short of emotional. They immediately recognized each other and began showing strong, affectionate behaviors. Even after 23 years apart, they had kept each other alive in their memories. Elephants also protect their young, pass down knowledge, open gates, and can even paint on canvases using their trunks. They are capable of reasoning, coming up with ideas, settling disputes among themselves, and even mourning. Yes, they can sense when something is wrong, feel grief, and pay respects to a deceased elephant. Most elephants live beyond 70 years, which is absolutely incredible. They live in loving groups, forming deep bonds that can last a lifetime. Every reunion, every farewell, every celebration of birth, and every morning ritual reveals that behind all that strength and grandeur lies a giant heart, filled with emotions as genuine as our own. Number 2. Parrot. If you think parrots are only good for cursing and repeating funny words, you're seriously underestimating them. In reality, the parrot is one of the most intelligent animals in the world. They don't just mimic sounds. They understand context, associate words with emotions, and can make decisions based on the experiences they live. To give you an idea, a parrot's brain is so developed that its intelligence is comparable to that of a human child around 5 years old. These little feathered geniuses can learn hundreds of words, recognize colors, shapes, and even count small quantities. And it's not just about memory. They clearly show emotions like joy, jealousy, sadness, and anger. If you play with them, talk to them, and give them affection, a parrot will form a strong emotional bond with you. But if you treat them badly, don't think they'll forget easily. Parrots have an impressive emotional memory. They hold grudges and can become sulky, distant, and even refuse to interact for days or weeks. On top of that, parrots are extremely social creatures. In the wild, they live in flocks and build deep relationships. They need constant mental stimulation to stay happy, which is why they love toys, challenges, and, most of all, daily interaction. Ignoring a parrot is like leaving a child bored in an empty room. They feel it deeply, they suffer, and they can even develop destructive behaviors out of frustration. Number 1. Pig. Most people only think about pigs when it's time for a big barbecue, imagining a chubby, dirty animal rolling around in the mud. But the truth is very different. The pig is actually one of the most intelligent animals in nature. Seriously, it just doesn't get the credit it deserves because of its floppy ears and pink snout. Did you know pigs can solve mazes? Just like lab rats. And even better, they can learn tricks faster than dogs. There are pigs out there that can even play video games using a joystick. That's right. Scientists trained pigs to move a cursor on a screen using their snouts. And they learned all by themselves, through trial, error, and success. Practical, adaptable intelligence. And that's something not many animals can claim. And their memory? Incredible. They remember who treated them well, who didn't, and who they got along with. They feel empathy, anxiety, and they have social preferences too. They know exactly who they want to hang out with. Studies have even shown pigs pretending not to know where food was hidden, just so they wouldn't have to share. That's deception. That's strategy. That's high-level thinking. Pigs live in groups, communicate with different grunts, care lovingly for their babies. And yes, they have their moods too. Have you ever seen an angry pig? It's just like an angry person. They pout, grumble, and storm off in a huff. And the saddest part? Almost no one gives them the respect they deserve. People think they're just pigs. But behind that round body and clumsy look, there's a sharp brain and a heart full of feelings. Pigs are like that brilliant student sitting quietly at the back of the classroom, unnoticed. But if you give them a chance, you realize they understand everything. They were just waiting for the right moment. And that wraps up our list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.